So, fun fact about ADELAINE, the first time we met, we were in London. We were on a brand trip with Lush. And I think it was out at this restaurant. We went to this like really high up, sky high restaurant.
Bougie.
Oh my gosh, no, I remember exactly what it was, like our first conversation. I was eating olives and I was like, oh, do you want the olives? And you're like, I don't like olives. I was like, you don't like olives? And she's like, I'm like, do you want to try one?
Oh my
and then
gosh.
you're like, okay, I'll try one. And you're like, I still don't like them. And that was our first interaction.
Aww.
ADELAINE doesn't like olives.
I still don't like olives. Aw, that's
well, on that note, roll the intro.
Woo!
Well, welcome back to Poddy Talk,
The podcast where we should talk ourselves.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Tor.
And today we have a very special guest. We've got ADELAINE Morin here.
Wow. We are so excited.
I wanted to you said I'm Jack, I'm Tor, and I wanted to be like, I'm ADELAINE.
Hi, ADELAINE.
You'd be our first guest to just jump on the train.
I was
We'll
really
redo it.
ready.
We'll do it again.
Ready?
I'm Link. Or
Yeah. From Hairspray.
Yes.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
are you ready?
I
We're
like
doing
that
it.
reference.
Welcome back to Poddy Talk, the podcast where we shit talk ourselves. I'm Jack.
I'm Tor.
And I'm ADELAINE.
Oh.
And let's hop right into it. So if you
love
know,
it.
does that feel good?
Yeah.
You're a part of the official Poddy Talk
is.
slogan now.
Aw.
Every episode now we just add in ADELAINE.
Yeah.
Well, ADELAINE, if you do not know, I'm sure you do. YouTube connoisseur. You got the ADELAINE Morin vlogs. What, the happiest place on the internet? Is that what we dub it as?
I love that.
Also, your main channel where you're doing so many different makeup trends, lifestyle trends. How do you describe yourself to someone that maybe has never heard of what you do before?
Make me sound so cool.
Aw. You are. You're
Own it. Own it.
I don't know. Whenever I explain to my grandma and grandpa or anyone that's in my family, I'm like, I just make YouTube videos and make a living off of it. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah.
What has been one of the most exciting parts of your career in the YouTube world?
I think the most. I practiced these questions last night and I forgot them all.
It's always very alarming to have someone just ask you questions about yourself. So take your time. It's no
It's
pressure.
also sometimes hard, I think, to reflect and give yourself credit for the cool things that
It's
you've
true.
done. Because the nature of the job and the industry that we're in, it's so fast paced and move on to the next, the bigger and better thing. So it's hard to kind of pat yourself on the back and be like, oh, I launched this amazing merch brand that's girls supporting girls and mental health initiative. I'm donating money to ovarian cancer. Doing all of these milestones, which for most people would be one big thing in a year, but that's just one on the list.
A day
of
to day
things.
for you,
Yeah.
I was actually working with my life coach about this because she works with a lot of YouTubers. She tries to prevent burnout because it's very common in the YouTube industry.
Yeah.
So she told me to prevent burnout, every single task or anything exciting that I do, I have to celebrate it.
That's great.
She's so cute. She's like, you should go to the spa and get a massage with your girlfriend. And
It's good though.
just to celebrate something that's exciting. But to answer your question, I feel like some of the things that I'm really proud of in my career were I did a makeup collaboration with Tarte.
I remember that. You were in the photos, right?
Well, yes, we were shooting the photos for the launch of it, but also I put on the blush today.
You did?
Yeah, I had to. They smell so good. They smell like vanilla. I love the smell of the palette.
know.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have to get you one too.
Yeah.
And I think also my merchandise company, Girls Supporting Girls,
Yes.
I love that. And
Fanjoy.com.
Adelboard.com.
I love it.
I got an upgrade.
You don't even need Fanjoy.
I got an upgrade.
And then also just my mental health series.
Yeah.
Just because I love talking about stuff that's a little taboo or weird to talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really fun to
Well,
me.
that's really interesting to me too. I watched your mental health series. It was called Unfiltered, right? Yeah, and I loved it. It was super fascinating because I know you obviously as a friend, and then knowing you from the YouTube side. And something that I feel like you talk about a lot is not struggling, but learning how to break free of that persona or grow with your audience. And I feel like you've done a really good job of that, especially over the past 6 months to a year. How has that been? Because you grew up on YouTube when you were what? How old were you?
13.
13. What was that?
It was
Grade
really hard.
8? Grade 9?
Grade 8.
Yeah, that's
I
a
remember
huge
being in
transition
middle
from-
school.
Yeah,
And I started
crazy.
And
And
then
then
how old
it's
are you
being
now?
cool to be a YouTuber.
yeah, it was not cool. It was not. And
Yeah.
I would post my YouTube videos on my Facebook and be like, guys, I posted a video.
So did you tell people at first, or did you wait for it to gain
I
momentum?
waited a little bit.
Okay.
I waited a little bit. But sorry, what was your question again?
I don't even know where
It
I was
seems like
going with
everyone
that,
we
but-
talked to did wait, though. Remember, we spoke to Elena Rama, Allegra
Yeah.
Shaw, all these people in the circle were
So
like,
that
we
time,
did not promote
you're
our
such
videos
a
at first.
weirdo.
Yeah.
How were people reacting to it when you first kind of were like, oh yeah, I have a video
Yeah.
on
I
YouTube?
feel like especially the boys, like in grade 8, they'd be like,
what are you doing?
They'd like poke fun at you,
Of
but
course.
like my girlfriends, I don't know, I think that they thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I entered like the Nick Space Awards and stuff like that, and they were like, oh my God, can I have some of your makeup? And I was like,
I know, it's like as soon as someone gets 1 ounce of success, everyone's like,
they're like,
actually what you're doing is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But I guess to go back to what Jack was originally talking about, like I mean all of us in some capacity kind of grew up in the public eye, like started really young. What was that like to go from the grade 8 ADELAINE to then now this current modern ADELAINE that's like navigating, you know, being a woman and all of those things with still an audience that was growing up with you? Because obviously there's a big expectation that you're this PG, like happy-go-lucky girl, then you're like, no, I'm a real woman going through real things, and obviously your mental health advocacy has opened that conversation for you and your audience too.
I think it's really hard when you get comments that are like, she's changed, like
Right.
I miss the old
I hope
ADELAINE.
I changed. I'm
I know
not
you want to
13.
change.
Exactly. I don't know, I went on like a Twitter rampage about it. I'm
I
like,
love following your Twitter. That's like the realest ADELAINE.
I'm like a little savage on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
My
so
manager
funny.
I don't know.
Delete that tweet now.
They don't love
Delete it.
She doesn't tell me to delete anything, but she's like, I don't know, you need it. Okay.
That's funny.
But
It's
I
good
don't
to
know.
keep it real on at least one platform, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I'm a little savage on Twitter. But I think at one point, I remember it was around like 2 years ago, I was just stuck because my brand and my identity was ADELAINE Morin, like happy-go-lucky, like what you said, like brand friendly, doesn't swear, whatever, beep boppity bop. And in real life, it was me, but I wasn't being my true authentic self.
Yeah.
And like I was kind of, something that my life coach told me is when people become famous, that age is where they stop maturing.
We talk about that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I feel like my YouTube channel kind of picked up when I was like 15, and I feel like I kind of stopped at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just was
15.
I was a 15-year-old girl in a like 20-year-old's body.
Yeah.
And I was acting like a 15-year-old, and it was, I don't know, I guess people like to watch it,
Yeah.
but I just needed to mature and get older, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it also makes like complete sense.
Yeah.
If you are 15, doing something, finding success from behaving a certain way and creating something at the time that maybe felt super authentic and perfect for that age,
Right.
how could you not want to recreate that and keep doing that to get the same positive results that you're looking for?
Yeah, and the
It's like,
numbers and the
it
views.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to want to do that. What's the response been from your audience? I feel like what I see, like publicly, people tend to be like, go you, like go off sis, like grow into this, like we love this for you.
Right.
Have you gotten a lot of backlash from growing into who you feel like you really are?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Every video, it's like, are you and Matt still together? I miss the old ADELAINE when she wouldn't swear. I miss this. I miss this. I miss this. And it's like, I see those comments, but I try to not let it bother me because obviously you're always gonna get hate comments if you're not getting hate comments and you're not doing something right. And I don't know. I just want to keep telling people I want to keep growing and evolving, and I never want to stay the same. I want to like continue to grow and evolve and become like the best version of me.
Yeah, well, how boring is it? If I could have made the same video today and put out the same content that I was doing 5 years ago, that's not good. That's boring.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that?
Right.
That's not that's not how you grow.
I think people also forget that there's real humans on the back of all of these things, and it's easy for people to get caught up in like the characters of it all. And I know you and your boyfriend obviously had a working relationship, which that's hard when that can go away. What was that experience like when you kind of had to rebrand and say, you know what, this isn't about Matt and I anymore. This is about me and like my channel. And what was that experience like for you?
It was definitely hard. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would ever have a public relationship ever
Yeah.
again. just
Interesting.
because
Yeah.
of that. Because it's not that it was awful. It was really fun having a public relationship and like taking cute pictures and
Of
like, doing videos
course, yeah.
together. But just
The expectation then is huge from the
expectation
fans.
is really huge. And when things aren't going well, at the back of your mind, you're like, oh, the fans are gonna think this, or like, you know. And it's like sometimes you'll get, like, say someone gives you flowers and you're like, did you get that for me or did you get that for the video or the picture? You know?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like
It almost
separating
dilutes some of those special moments because you're like, are we doing this for the characters on our YouTube or are we doing this as people in a relationship that love each other? So yeah, that's tricky.
I think it's also hard, like, I mean, you give so much of your life to the world, to the internet, to have their eyeballs and their opinions on. Like you were vlogging every day for a hot minute, right?
Yeah.
For like what, 2 years straight, something like that. Like you were
I'm trying to do it again.
Oh my
back
God.
on that grind. Okay, talk to your life coach about that one.
Burnout.
But no, you do give so much of your life, and it's hard when you have so little left of privacy or your personal life, and people, and the audience feels like they're owed to know all of that. And it's like, that's great. Like, I value my audience, but also you don't need to know the nitty gritty of everything. You don't need to know every like relationship, all the ins and outs of all that. And I think it's hard when you have so many outside opinions from those people who feel like they know you or knew a relationship, and they're becoming therapists suddenly in the comments and know how to analyze everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no one should be exposed to that many opinions about my personal life that you don't even know the half of.
It was very eye-opening to me when I started going out to LA more and like seeing kind of, because that world functions very differently, obviously,
LA
than Canada.
is a fake world.
It's insane.
It's a bubble.
Totally. That's what I always say.
I
it's
love
completely
it,
a bubble.
but you have to like have it in doses.
Share your
to be
analogy.
very
You have
sure.
a good analogy
Yeah,
about
my analogy
LA.
of
What's your analogy?
cheesecake is that LA is like a cheesecake. So when you first go to LA, you're like, oh my God, I love LA. It's so sweet. It's so like rich. It's so like full of flavor. I just love it so much. And then after like 3 months of cheesecake, you're like, I never want to eat cheesecake again. It is just like so fattening and disgusting and bloating me, and it's not it. So that was my analogy of LA. It's like, it's very good at first taste, but once you kind of get deeper, you're like, I'm kind of maybe not aligned with the levels here. But besides that, the reason I brought up LA was because when I started seeing people functioning in those sort of famous circles and how they dealt with that level of privacy, it shocked me how many of those girls were actually in relationships that just weren't public. Like, I thought I knew their lives and I thought I saw everything on Instagram,
you were
YouTube,
talking
whatever.
about that.
And it was really crazy to me to then see behind the scenes, like, oh, this is my like husband or fiance or whatever, and these people just don't exist in their online world. And I was like, respect, yeah, it's
that's
insane.
what I need.
They're like, we've been together for like 5 years, and I'm like, I've been following you for 10, and I thought I knew your whole life. And I obviously would never disclose who these people are, but it's just really interesting as like when you're in those scenes to be like, wait, what? Like, people actually get away with this?
Well, it also speaks to the idea that you only know what is being posted by them, and they're curating it.
They are curating
whatever
a life.
they say is the truth. It just is.
It just
from
is
your
the
perspective.
Truth. It's so true.
So
So
that
that was insane. I was like, wow, chef's kiss to these
But it's
people.
also hard. I think the thing, it was really interesting actually. I was watching a Dove Cameron interview, and she was talking about, because she's very public with a lot of her relationships, and she goes, I struggle with the idea of like being so extreme on either sharing so much of him or like not sharing him at all. And it's like, I try to navigate our lives as if we weren't in the public eye, and if I, was just a regular girl in my hometown chilling, like I'd be posting a few pictures of my boyfriend and stuff. So she goes, in that sense, I like to share a little bit on my own terms to make it feel normal, because when she goes on the opposite end and doesn't post anything at all, then it feels like, oh, they're these famous people, we have to like keep this a secret, and like then it also can become a thing on the reverse. So it's like, what is the answer? I guess you only know at the time, depending on the person you're with.
It also depends on the guy. Like, I think some guys have a big ego and they would be like maybe offended if someone in the public, you know what I mean?
I hate that.
It's disgusting. I'm just saying that could be an option. Like, you never know behind the scenes if a guy's like, what, you don't want to talk about me publicly? Like, I could see that being kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I feel like you started going to LA quite young. When did you officially move out there? Or when was the first time?
I think it was around like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I feel like I was around like 19.
Wow, yeah, that's super young.
Yeah.
What made you decide that was the next move?
So my friend Chloe, she tweeted out, she tweeted a picture of the living room and it was completely empty. She's like, I'm so bored, I need a roommate. Anyone want to be my roommate?
Oh my God.
And I responded to her tweet being like, not thinking that
as a girl in Canada.
Yeah, as a girl.
Toronto.
And like we've like met at BeautyCon and like we're friends, but we were never that close.
Sure. Right.
So it was like me kind of like as a joke, but kind of serious.
Kind of
at the
not,
same time.
yeah.
And she was
Like,
like,
she takes
wait,
it seriously,
really?
I'll take it seriously.
Yeah, and then she texted me, and then we just ended up, we met up, we had lunch, and then we like got along really well, and she was like, do you want to be my roommate? And I was like, yeah!
Amazing.
And then I just moved in.
Yeah. So at the
That's
time, was
crazy.
it for you like, oh, I want to move to LA for like my business, it's like the next like work move, or was it just like, I'm young,
This
I
is the
have
next
this
chapter.
opportunity, I should just do this, it sounds fun?
I think it was more so that.
Okay.
I think it was more so for fun, and
Yeah.
more so to just like hang out with my YouTube friends.
Sure.
Because they all live in LA.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I think I was really sad. I was living in my mom and dad's house at the time, and my university. Well, my friends from high school that are now in university were away.
Yeah.
So I literally had no friends, and like nobody wanted to hang out with me because they were all in university.
They're on a different like timeline.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I was trying to do YouTube full time. I was like, I'm gonna take a year off. I'm gonna do YouTube full time.
Yeah.
So I just thought that moving to LA was the move, and I could like do collabs and videos and stuff like that.
Of course.
So how did it work out? Did you like your first year? Was it like a shell shock experience? What was it like?
I remember it being really fun. Like,
Yeah,
I remember doing, like,
that's good.
recent
It's a dream.
vlogs.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, I got to spend more time with my friends and, like...
That's nice.
Yeah.
And the weather.
And the weather!
Yeah.
Ah, the weather is so good there!
That's what I would say. How can you ever, like, everything is just automatically 5% better if you're in a place that has beautiful
Good
weather
weather.
year-round.
I know.
Like, it makes it so much better.
much
That's insane.
better.
So are you still bi-coastal then? You go back and forth from LA and Toronto? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And are you still with Chloe, or do you have a new roommate now?
No, so I have a new roommate. Chloe moved out. She lives in Santa Monica now.
Oh,
okay.
bougie.
Bougie?
Yeah.
Now I live with my roommate Meg.
Nice.
Meg D'Angelis.
Oh, yes. I met her at a playlist last year. I was like, oh, you're Adelaine's roommate.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What was the process like doing like the whole visa? Because that's such a big like YouTube move. It's
I
like when you have to
know.
start that whole
Dude,
world.
I just applied like this week.
Oh, wait, you don't have a full time?
I don't have a visa.
Wait.
Oh.
What? That's
Yeah.
full time I thought you did.
That's insane.
Oh. Okay, so what's the process been like then? Was it like
So
50
hard.
million
I've been
pages?
trying to get my visa for over 3 years.
Yeah, it's
Over
hard.
3
Wow.
years. And it's not even like applying, it's just like dealing with the lawyers and getting all of the paperwork
Yeah.
together and getting brands to be like, oh, we want you to work in the States. So many brands that I work with, big brands that I have a good relationship with, they're like, sorry, I can't sign anything because like my company policy says that
Totally.
I can't sign anything for visas. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed now. I don't know what to do. Like
Oh
all
my
of the
God.
good brands that I'm like, I work with, they can't, you know.
They can't
and it's
support
like,
that, yeah.
I think that's
reverse.
something that people don't realize too. People think automatically, say if you have success or you work in this industry, it's like, oh, well, that's just so easy. Like you show them their YouTube page and they're like, yep, you can work here. Like that's not how it works at all.
So much of it is
So much
based
money,
on
time.
So much of it is based on future business. Like it's based on like the 3 previous years working in the industry, and a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're successful. You must be able to get a visa. It's like
Yeah.
that's not
No,
how it works.
that easy.
Yeah.
Hockey players can get a visa.
I know.
Basketball players can get a visa.
Actors
It's
can
hard
get a
to
visa.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you need a contract.
I know. You just need
And
a contract. That's the problem.
It's only like a 6-month contract. You're only getting a 6-month visa.
I know. Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're
you just
putting
gotta
up-
find an American man, make a move,
I
get
know,
married.
girl.
That's
I'm
like the quick fix.
trying. I'm trying, but I don't like any of the
The nice Canadian
so
boys
much
that play
nicer.
hockey.
So funny.
I know,
Well,
I
something
know.
that I think is really interesting about kind of like your timeline as well is that you also went to makeup school to become a certified skincare esthetician. Is it skincare esthetician and like professional certified makeup artist? And which I feel like not a lot of people necessarily know about because I mean you talk about it, but you don't like fully advertise it. How did you navigate being in school full time and then still upholding this daily vlog, scheduled upload, launching makeup palettes, doing all this stuff? How do you
So,
balance that?
I scheduled it.
What does that mean?
Time management.
Because as a Canadian, you're only allowed 6 months in the States.
Yeah.
So I think I used it up all by that time. So I was like, man, now I have to spend 6 months in Canada. So I'm like, let's just enroll in a makeup school because I
Okay.
get so bored here.
Right.
Like there's a lot to do in Toronto.
Yeah.
But I just like don't get invited to things and like I don't know.
Aw. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure that's not true.
No, but yeah, I just like signed up for school, and I think it's always good to like keep learning and keep educating yourself and
Well, I
How-
keep
was that
brain muscle
recent?
working. Huh?
Was that recently when you went back to do that?
I did makeup and skincare like 1
Okay.
year ago, and then I did hair like this season. last
Wow.
season. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Well, I
that's
also
great.
feel like you were very strategic about it too, because at the time you got certified and then you launched your makeup palette, which
was
I
perfect.
think, I mean, that was just great planning, because then you got to be like,
Yes.
hey, I'm a certified makeup artist, and here's my palette.
And here's my palette.
Was that
Hi.
intentional, or did the timing just
That was
work?
intentional.
That's
Oh.
great.
That's
Okay.
great.
Can you talk about your experience of making the Tarte palette? 'Cause
Yeah.
I am so fascinated in that world. How does that work? Are they sending you samples?
Like, do you go to head office? Like, do you
Yeah.
look at? Fine, okay, tell
So-
us everything.
Tell us everything.
From the very beginning, I got an email like over a year before before it launched, and my manager was like, "Hey, do you want to like do a makeup collaboration with Tarte?" And I was like,
Pardon? Come
"Why
again?
are you even asking me? Say yes! Like, what, you
course.
already know the answer. Why are
Yeah.
you even
Yeah.
asking me?" So we got the approval. It's a lot of just like waiting. Like it's a lot of waiting.
Of course.
So I remember I got that email, and then a couple months later it was VidCon. Sorry, I have this all mixed up in my head. A couple months later, I went to Costa Rica with Tarte.
Oh, okay, because they were doing Trippin' with Tarte.
They were doing
Trippin'
with
influencers
Tarte.
on a press trip. It's very glam.
Yes, and at the time, we were emailing back and forth, and like I was.
Was that your first press trip with them?
No. The first one I did was New York. And I think it was like Bora Bora and then Costa Rica.
Oh,
They're
wow.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
They're crazy.
Bora Bora, that's what I think I watched your vlog.
That's so
like,
amazing.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I love Tarte. So
shout out to Tarte.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tarte. And then we were at Costa Rica, and I remember normally on those trips they're like, hey, do you mind taking over the Instagram story?
Yeah.
And you like be like, hey, we're in Costa Rica, we're doing this activity, make sure to swipe up to get the eyebrow product, whatever. And they were like, here, come, we want to like take you somewhere. So I go into this hotel room, and I'm in the hotel room with the owner of Tarte, Maureen.
No.
And there's like a huge table filled with eyeshadows that have already I told them my vision for my palette and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, what are your favorite shades? Like, do you want to swatch it and stuff like that? And I was like, so it was
like,
so
it's
much,
happening. You can't
it was
just throw
so
this on
much
me.
pressure. Like, nobody prepared me for it. So I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. I was like,
that's
okay, this
overwhelming.
is my favorite blush. Like, I always wear this highlight. I always wear this. Always this. And they were like, okay, you need to have a base shade, so like that white shade, and then you need a transition shade, so like a light brown.
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
guide you in the
need
direction.
that?
Yeah.
Anything else you could choose. And I was like, okay, so I go all on the table,
And that's how it was made.
and
crazy.
literally that's how it was made.
Oh
and then
my
I
So was that
remembered,
one day decision? Like there was no going back. Like it was do or die.
no, well, we went back
Oh,
and forth
okay.
a lot through. It was a lot of emails.
Well, even like yellow, I feel like yellow pigment's really hard to do. Was that a process of like finding the perfect Adeline yellow?
But you know what? The hardest one was the orange.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got
Why?
like over five samples of the orange because I just wanted it perfect.
It had to be right, yeah.
It had to be right. They got yellow pretty spot on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
But I
Yeah,
remember.
it's super pigmented. And normally
I
yellow
love
is like
that yellow.
hard to
It's
be
really
pigmented.
hard.
Yeah.
So I remember at VidCon, that's when I got the actual
Physical?
samples,
Oh,
and I was
okay.
like, oh my God, it smells so good.
Did you pick the scent or is that all of Tarte's?
That's just all of Tarte.
Okay.
They
It's
just do
always
all the
vanilla.
Tarte
Yeah.
always smells really
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, remember
they
this
always
mineral
do.
sunscreen? That
Yes,
one smells
yes.
so good. Yeah. Side note.
Your eyes like rolled back.
Yeah,
into
yeah.
I do that. I do that all the time. When I get
Oh, yeah.
expressive, of
But
course.
yeah, VidCon, I got the samples, and then they shipped the packaging to my house, so I got like different samples of the packaging. I'm like,
Did
hey,
you
like this
design
one.
the like lemon design and all of that?
No, they
How does that
designed it,
work?
and
Okay.
I gave them the creative direction. They designed it, and I
And then
like
you approve
it and-
yeah.
approve it. Mhm.
Oh, so you were pretty hands-on, like through and through. And you named all the eyeshadows. Like, there's one
that's
for
so
your mom. There's like, I
fun.
feel pretty, like
Yeah.
self-affirmations. And you're super into like positivity, or obviously positivity, manifestation, all of that. Is that something that you got from the guidance of like your life coach and like now that you're on this more like spiritual journey and like of mental health?
So
Or how does that
the
work?
first person that told me about The Secret
Yeah.
was RCO Beauty 101. Do you
Oh
know
my God,
Rachel?
Yeah,
Levin?
yeah. She's like a very
She-
OG YouTuber.
Yeah, she, I feel like we were like one of the first, I don't know, YouTubers that
Yeah.
would go to BeautyCon and stuff like that.
Well, can we take a minute and talk about your OG username? You were a Cookie Monster.
C0OK1E Monster.
No way.
Snaps for you. But that
Oh
was
my
back in the day when you're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to put my full name on the internet. That's so scary. And now
and that's
everyone's
when like Mac Barbie 07,
oh, fully. Juicy Star 07, all that glitters 21.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
remember. But yeah.
Okay, that's so funny. So you and Rachel were the OGs.
And she introduced me to The Secret, and then I became obsessed, and I saw all of these like manifestation videos and like all these manifestation books, and I don't know. Now I'm like talking to my life coach about it, and I'm like meditating. I'm like a hippie now, but
That's so
Has it
nice.
helped you throughout the times of like,
yeah, 100%. I don't know. I think Rachel told me she went to this really special convention with like a bunch of rich people. She told me the details, but I forget where it was.
Yeah.
And she said that every single person in that room, when they went up on the stage, they mentioned like manifestation, law of attraction. Every successful person believes in the law of attraction and manifestation. It's
So it's
crazy.
a thing,
in
yeah.
some sort of way. Maybe it's like God, or maybe it's like, you know, the universe,
whatever
or
your higher
whatever.
power is.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about this all the time, and it's like kind of what you put out in the world is what you give back. And 5 people can be given the same situation, but it's your perception, how you approach it, and how you move forward with it. Like that determines whether it's going to be a good outcome, bad outcome. And we've seen so many situations firsthand of whether it be great opportunities presented to someone, but their mindset is not in the right place, that they can't thrive with the situation. And it's we talk about it all the time. Like, not that you should be happy all the time and positive all the time, but there is something so important about being in a good headspace and being able to make positive decisions and had that strong mindset. So
yeah,
definitely
and
some
one
truth
thing
to that.
that I definitely learned this year is I used to think like in order for law of attraction to work, you have to be happy and positive all the time, only focus on the positive. But one thing that I really learned is that you have to face the negatives and you have to face your fears and face whatever comes your way.
Acknowledge the bad thing.
Yeah.
Don't dwell on it.
Things. Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Or else it'll just bite you back in the butt. You have to face them.
No, yeah, it's not about like stuffing down all these bad things and never dealing with it, but it's just like, I don't even know how you...
Welcoming it,
Yeah,
and then letting it go.
Totally, you're really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one ear out the other.
It is. You just have to, it's like a learned art. It's like anything. You just have to teach your mind to not accept all of that and just be like, it's good. We're moving on.
Well, it's also kind of crazy because especially in the industry, in the YouTube world that you're in, and you were in it so young and it blew up so quickly and became this huge thing, like you have no guidance from people. Like YouTube doesn't sit you down and be like, hey, you are now a teen that is one of the biggest YouTubers in the world at the time, and still, like, this is how you deal with your life properly. This is how you don't have mental health issues. This is how you don't burn out. Like,
That's
nobody
so tricky.
tells you how that works.
Did you have mentors, or did you have people kind of saying, hey, like, do this with your finances, or do this, and like set you up in a way that, you know, allows you to be who you are today? Or were you kind of just, as you were going through the motions, making
Figuring
it
it out,
work?
yeah.
I feel like Laura DIY was like my
Okay.
mentor.
Another Canadian YouTuber.
I know, I love her. And we were talking about this. She was like, Lauren said that Superwoman, Lily Singh, was like her mentor, and I'm like, she's like my mentor.
Like passing the torch.
I know they're passing down the torch.
No, you need a little baby
Really
Lily.
nice.
I know.
To pass it on to.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard because I feel like when you're an athlete, at least, like you have like a therapist, you get like PR training, you get like everything.
Oh, you have a full team around you.
You have a full team, you have like a banker, you have someone to do your taxes, like you're
Yeah.
set, like just play the game. Whereas when you're a YouTuber, you kind of have to figure that shit out.
Totally.
Totally on your own.
Yeah.
At
I
this
know.
phase, you're such like a CEO boss babe. But what does your team look like? What's the current ADELAINE Morin squad?
So I have my assistant Holly. She helps me like answer emails and film videos, and she filmed my like music video.
Oh, cool.
And then I have my manager and her team. And
Are these all Toronto based or LA?
Holly, my assistant, is Toronto based.
Yeah.
Abigail, my manager, is LA based.
Okay.
Nice.
Once in a while I have PR, only if I'm gonna
There's like a
release
big event or
something,
something.
Yeah, and then I also have like my MCN, so that's just like for my YouTube.
What MCN are you with? Are you with Style Hall?
I'm with Awesomeness. Girl, are you with Style Hall?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like there was a big. For a second, I was like,
What's Style Hall?
It was like a very.
I know nothing about
Does it
anything.
exist anymore?
No.
Okay. It was.
So it's okay to talk
It was
about.
like the OG, like if you were, and basically anyone on the internet kind of in the beauty space in like
Oh.
2010, 2011.
You had-
Style
you were
Hall,
with Style
yeah,
Hall.
it was like, but there was a lot of issues.
Drama?
You can Google Style Hall drama and just see it all. But it was
Okay.
like kind of.
Who was an example? Like, would like Desi Perkins have
She,
been?
she didn't even exist on YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
You were with.
I was with
Oh,
Style Hall.
you were with.
I was with Style Hall,
Okay,
girl.
okay.
Got it.
But no, yeah, like all the original like beauty
I
gurus
see.
were
Cool.
with them.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so now you're with the new MCN, you're with Awesomeness. Okay, that makes so much sense. I didn't realize that. And then who else? Anyone else on the team?
I can't think of anyone right now.
I mean,
but,
that's a pretty big team.
Yeah, I can't think
All
of
the
any-
merch. Do you do all that yourself?
Oh yeah, I have my merchandise company,
Okay.
Fanjoy, and I have like my contact, my girl Christine.
Yes. Wait, can we talk about merch? Because this is something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we actually are diving into merch very soon. Oh
my God.
So, well, I mean,
the
we'll
pod.
get you a hoodie, don't you worry.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how did you get started with that? How did you have the vision of the girls supporting girls? Because now that's like your iconic thing. You do it in so many different colors and do so many different releases. How did that all start?
So I remember I wanted to do merch. So I started with this one company, and it was just like not the greatest experience. Because
Yeah.
I remember I would give them a vision and be like, I want to release this, and it needs to be like this. I would send them like drawings, like I always draw it out before like I don't know, whatever I'm envisioning.
Yeah.
And I would send it over to them. It would take them months, so long to get anything back to me.
Oh, really?
And the quality was really good, but every time it was like, sorry, like we can't alter this because we already put it in production, and like this is just how it is. And I'd be like,
You made it already?
yeah, I'm like, you made it
That's
already.
insane.
Like I didn't approve this. Like,
Yeah.
and then I would end up having to push something that I wasn't 100% like in love with and proud
Yeah,
of.
and that's not what you want to release.
So that contract ended, and I was like, bye! And I went over to Fanjoy. And,
Oh, that's great.
I don't know. I feel like they're just amazing with like merch. And
They get that
hoodies.
world
They
and
just
how to
get it.
integrate all of that, the channels. Like I think of the David Dobrik's,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, it's so seamless. Like,
it's so easy. I'll send them my ideas. They'll be like, when you want to release, they'll be like, this day. They'll be like, okay. And almost every single time, like the samples are always amazing and
That's
good
great.
quality.
So good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh my God, so iconic. You've had so many different releases. You've had like the sunflower one, I remember, the regular Girls Supporting Girls, and the blue one. Was that ovarian cancer? What did
that's
you
ovarian cancer.
Was it all the funds or the proceeds, or tell me about that?
A portion of every sale goes towards a girls' nonprofit organization.
Oh my
so
God.
for that month, we did ovarian cancer because my grandma passed away of ovarian cancer and it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And every year I do like the ovarian cancer run.
Aw, that's so
So I
nice.
teamed up with the company that does the ovarian cancer run every year and we like went to the office and we like handed them a
You
little
had
check.
a big like Ellen-sized check. Bigchecks.com. Is that a real place?
I don't know.
I'm sure it probably
we ordered
is.
it online.
How does that arrive in one giant piece?
and like a big thing.
What?
Yeah.
That is shocking.
I know.
I love that.
So you delivered that, made amazing donations. So I know the Girls Supporting Girls, that was, I think, naturally just part of your brand because you used to just say it all the time and that you would literally just, I mean, you've been great to me. I remember there was one time where I was like about 100,000 subscribers. You're like, Girls Supporting Girls, like go give Jaclyn some love. Like, you've always been very supportive and overly generous with your audience and helping other people shine. Where did that start from? Was it just your intuition?
I think it's just because in high school I was so severely bullied by other girls. It's just, I don't know, I feel like there's a stigma that girls have to like tear each other down and you have to like be the best girl. And girls are so catty in high school and it just sucks that, and like mean girls, like I don't know, it just sucks that that's the stigma. I
And
just
that was your
wanna
whole experience.
Stop. That was my whole experience in high school. Like girls would physically push me in the
Oh
hallway.
my God.
Yeah, and they would like just talk about me, even though I've never had a conversation with them. It's just because I had a YouTube channel and like.
Look who's
I don't know.
laughing now.
Yeah. I bet you were like in your DMs being like, oh my God, Adeline, we went to school together.
I love those full circle moments.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine. You sometimes
my
just have to
God.
let
You
it
ever-
go.
You like go on your phone and you're like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
no, I'm kidding.
So this is your response to that. You're like, I'm gonna rise above, unite the girls.
Because the only way that women rise up is by lifting each other, and I don't know, I just want to start that stigma because I never want any girls to go through what I went through in high school. It sucked. But I don't know. I just had my 3 girlfriends, and we would all like be together.
that's so
Your
nice.
story is always so fascinating to me because, yeah, you share this horrible high school experience that you had, but then on the reverse of that, you're on YouTube putting out this positive energy, thriving, living this like literal Hannah Montana double life.
I always say
Was
that.
it your escape? Like, how did you channel that energy for your channel? Yeah?
Yeah, it was kind of like an escape. I hated high school. Like, I hated high school. I hated
Were you
it
there
so
for the full
much.
4 years, or did you
I
end up
hated it
homeschooling?
so much that on the last year, I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I was like, Mom, I literally can't be in high school. Like, it sucks. And I was like having family troubles. I was like, I literally cannot do this.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I was like failing a lot of classes. And I don't know, I think my guidance counselor brought me to this school. And it's like a travel school. So you would go to Australia and you would get your credits that way.
Oh,
so I ended up finishing that way.
In Australia?
Yeah, girl.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, that's epic. Actually, it reminds me so much of, well, I remember hearing your speech. So going back to the Face Awards, you know that she was like the OG Face Awards, like she won.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Like,
that.
Was it your
I think it
second
was
year
like
in it, or?
third
Oh
or
my
fourth
God.
year.
I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was my second year. in it.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Because I remember, because I was in the Face Awards 2 years ago, and I remember I was like texting Adeline throughout the whole
Yeah,
thing. I was
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
were literally a winner from like 5 years ago. Like, I need all the advice. Tell me
Yeah,
all
like
the
tell me
things.
everything.
But I remember one night I was going through it all, doing my research, and I watched the year that you won. And literally your speech, like I was sitting there sobbing. I think I saved a Snapchat of me crying because I was like, I'm crying at your speech. But you were talking about it. You're like, it's such a crazy experience to be here, to be winning the Face Awards, which if you guys don't know, it's put on by NYX Cosmetics, and it's basically where you have a bunch of different makeup challenges. You want to basically contract with NYX, and it's this huge, huge thing in the beauty world. And you had won it at, how old were you, 16, 17?
Yeah,
You were
right.
young. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like beat out all these adult pro makeup art. Like it was crazy. Like a big, huge, huge accomplishment. But you're like, it's so crazy that now I feel like I have a support system here because I go back home and I'm flying in between.
Yeah.
And I don't have that for those relationships at school because I'm being so bullied. And I think you were saying something about like you ate your lunch in the bathrooms and like. It's so weird to now have an audience, people cheering you on and saying you are the best, you were doing incredible things because you didn't get that in your personal life. So
Aw, that's
I can't imagine
crazy.
navigating like both of the extremes, fully both extremes.
Yeah.
That's Hannah Montana.
Literally.
Literally was.
But how it speaks so much to the strength for you to be able to pull all of those negative experiences, and again, goes back to mental health and to how you perceive situations. You could be super bitter and be like, fuck all these girls, like this is like whatever. But no, on the reverse, you're like, I'm launching a merch company all based on the premise of how other girls can lift other people up and support each other, which I think is really incredible.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Slow clap for you.
Yeah, seriously, that's awesome.
I also want to mention that it's like having friends online and numbers online never translates to your happiness ever. I don't know.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
I know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Just what you said there, I was like, yeah, it was so amazing. Like, winning and like people are cheering for you and you like have all of these numbers. Like, I don't remember how many subscribers I had, and like people would come up to me in the mall and like at the end of the day, that never translates to your happiness. I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to make a mark on the world, I want to be famous, I want to do this, I want to do that. Never translates to your happiness.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, we see this all the time when we see people put their happiness in like an end goal. It's like, well, when this happens, then I'll be happy.
No.
When whether it's reach a certain number of followers, whether I am famous, whether I make this amount of money, if you're continually putting your happiness on but when, it's always going to be another, but then when this happens, and it's like you're always chasing this thing that you think will fulfill you. And it's like, I'm not the one that's going to say, okay, being financially stable, of course, that does have a certain level of stability and sure, may contribute to you feeling a bit more secure, but it's not going to be the sole factor of why someone is happy.
Yeah.
If there are so many other missing puzzle pieces, you have to acknowledge that no, like that's not going to be what is fulfilling.
I think like success in your career, I mean, at least in my opinion, all it equates to is opportunity.
Totally.
Not happiness. It means, yes, okay, money, access, like all of those things. That gives you opportunity, that gives you maybe entrance into the right rooms, to the right people, to build your life and build your business. But that doesn't mean at the end of the day when you go to bed that you're sitting there being like, ha, ha, ha.
No. Thank God I've got 2 million followers.
No, never.
I think that's the
it's all about
disconnect.
gratitude.
People don't realize that it's two very different things. Opportunity and happiness do not necessarily go in correlation.
So speaking of all that, I mean, I know, like you said, you're working with this, I was gonna say health coach, not health coach. I mean, also your mental health coach.
My blood pressure.
Yeah. Go for a run. What are the practices that you do to instill that you stay mentally okay and on the right track despite all the crazy noise in the world?
I don't know. She just like, she gives me these like little activities for me to do throughout the week. She like gives me challenges. She like makes sure that I keep myself accountable for my goals. That's so important because it's so easy to be like, oh, I want to achieve this, but then you completely forget about it.
Right.
So she's like, oh, did you do that? And I'm like, oh, yes,
No.
I gotta do that.
But I will.
On the back burner.
She really just like keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, that's so fascinating. I think just having someone to talk it out that's like an unbiased person is also just so healthy.
Yeah, and I talk to her about personal stuff too, like boys and like.
Of course.
What's the difference between a health coach or a health coach? Now we're calling her a health coach. You're a life coach and a therapist.
She was explaining this to me, and I hope that I explained this right, but she said that a therapist mostly focuses on your past trauma, whereas a life coach mostly focuses on setting yourself up for the future.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a life coach.
Yeah.
We'll talk after. You give me your number.
I feel like I was really opened up to that in watching Justin Bieber's seasons on YouTube.
Did you
like,
watch that series?
His life coach was like a big part of this conversation.
I didn't watch the last couple episodes though. I have to watch that stuff.
You have to see the wedding one. That one's actually
That was
super
insane,
cute.
yeah.
He like makes Haley the one less lonely girl.
Oh!
I wasn't even a big Justin Bieber fan, but I was watching this. I was
really
like,
cute.
I'm so happy
cute.
for you.
I have to watch it.
Okay, watch it tonight.
Yeah.
So
But
life
it was just
coaches.
funny because Justin's life coach was very much a part of the
Helps you navigate all the highs
documentary.
and the lows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
speaking of all the highs and the lows, we were talking about some amazing successes and what a great upward trajectory your career has been. But there's always divots. It's never a straight linear line. Can you share some of the experiences that were maybe the not so Instagram moments that made it to YouTube or Instagram? Like, what were the downfalls? What were the struggles? Do you have one specific moment that comes to mind?
I don't know. Well, like, just when you brought that up, I'm like, every year around this time, like January, February, March, it's always a low time.
Or those are your bad.
And you're like,
It's like seasonal
Mine's
depression.
December.
you're
Like,
like-
December is the worst month. I hate it.
ooh, like, am I dying on YouTube? And then you're like, you pick yourself back up in summer. It's just because people are like going through exams and stuff like that. I've learned that it's like a wave and it like it goes up and down.
Do you find that a lot of like how you're feeling is reliant on the success and the numbers of the channel? Like,
I'm sorry.
Like, do you find that your like personal happiness and all of that is very reliant on how things are going online? Like, it's hard to not.
I don't want it to, but it does a little bit. Obviously, like comparing it to a normal job, if you're getting paid like 2 times what you normally, you're
Totally.
gonna be so happy when you're getting paid half of what you normally
It's
get paid.
natural to be like, oh,
You're like,
I need to be
man,
better.
You're like, am I not working hard enough? Yeah.
That's just how it is. But
Yeah.
I try to not let it affect me, and it's just like a cycle that you have to go through.
So summer and like Christmas, where YouTube audiences are thriving,
You're like,
that's when the happy is.
You're like, woo! Like,
That's too funny.
I don't know how inappropriate I can be on your podcast.
This is
Very. That is literally it.
Strip clap, hand out the dollar bill. Hello.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's Christmas and summer.
So the low of your career is every January to March then.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
hey,
too
Adeline,
funny.
we need to calm down our spending for these months. But
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think it's like interesting probably for audience members to hear that, because I think like finances are really shocking outside of our, like, people are here about the finance of this world when they're not in this world. They're like, what? Like, brands have money and they do that and they pay for content and YouTubers make money on AdSense. Like, it's so hush hush, and I've always like kind of laughed at that. Like, I think it's, which is great for everyone in the industry. Like, I like that it's hush hush, because it's like, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But then like no one else knows. So I think it's interesting for the audience at least to know, like, don't worry, there's peaks and pits, and everyone's, it's like any career.
I'm actually interested to hear your perspective about, since you do live like the Toronto and the LA life, what are the major differences that you find overall? Not necessarily your friendships, because it sounds like you've settled in with a really good group of people, but just like the general LA YouTube social media scene. Like, what are the major differences that you find?
You get
between
paid
the
in
two?
US dollars. That's the difference.
Canadian US dollars. Canadians lower. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think just like working in LA is just so much better. But again, it's like you have to have it in doses.
Yeah.
I like being in
Oh,
Toronto.
better. Why do you say that?
I think it's just because I'm able to like collaborate with my friends and like.
Oh, I see.
I don't
more
know.
access,
There's more stuff to do over
Yeah.
there, and it's just like the weather's good there, so you can vlog outside. I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, true.
And I thought you were speaking more about like the brands in LA, which I was like, oh, I'm curious what the experience was.
Yeah, I also love being Canadian, because Canadian brands reach out and you're like, hi, there's not that many Canadian influencers.
That's true. It's like
And
big fish in small ponds.
when you're here, you could kind of be like the biggest creator, whereas when you're in LA, you're like, ooh, you're like in the middle or like
Totally.
on the lower side. But I like being in Toronto just to like ground myself and like be with my friends and family and just like really be Hannah Montana.
Totally. It is funny. I always say in
Be
Canada.
Miley. Hear your Miley.
Yeah, you're in Miley
It is true. There is like a beauty about. Are you good?
No,
Okay. Do you need
I'm not.
water? You can go
No, I'm
get
good,
your
I'm
water.
good,
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm not good. It is so funny. We always say this. It's always like the funniest reality check. Like being in Toronto, no one cares, which is like the best thing ever. Like no one even like, oh, you're a YouTuber, cool, whatever. Moving on. Whereas like when we go to the LAs, the New Yorks, the worlds, especially when we're there for industry events, it's like, oh, what do you do? So what's your handle? Like everyone just wants to like know what's up / if they should care about you.
Yeah.
Which that is always such an interesting thing. That's like
It's
the
so
stereotype you
clout-chasing.
hear, but it's like kind of true.
It's very
Yeah.
true. I always laughed. Like, there was a summer I lived out in LA, and the first question from people was never, oh, hi, what's your name? Like,
What's your Instagram?
yeah, it would always be like, oh, what's your Instagram? What do you do? Like,
What can I get from you?
yeah, and you just kind of die on the inside.
Yeah.
It's like it's so
You're like,
transparent.
yeah.
LOL.
Whereas I think in Toronto, it's just different. It's like, oh, where did you like go to school? Or like,
Yeah.
what's like a story
Yeah,
about? Like, I
that's
just think the
why I
approach
feel
is
like
different.
I could not date someone from LA.
Yeah.
I mean, watch me
Oh,
like date
boys from
someone-
LA make me
Yeah.
literally want to die.
She almost threw hands with someone a few
I
months
almost
ago.
literally punched her. Like,
Wait, what?
What was this, 2 months ago?
Yeah, we were at
happened?
this like viewing
Oh,
party.
it was so
It was
fun.
really
we're
funny.
adjusting our
Yeah, we're like,
positions.
Yeah, no, it
let's
was just
see.
very funny because so I had a friend that she was originally from New York, whatever, moved out to LA. She has this like kind of music career and she was doing this performance. So we were there for some brand trip. So I kind of rallied the girls and I was like, hey, let's go support her. Like she's performing tonight. And this guy who was friends with her also, like there was a group and we had mutual friends. So he came up to us and he's like, hi, how are you? Like just like so like, I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, oh my God, I literally
Right away,
can't
I was
even.
like, oh.
I think I rolled my eyes. I was like, I am not
He
engaging
also was
with
like
this
this, like,
person.
put your hand out to shake her hand. He's like,
Hi, it's so
so
nice to meet you.
And you're like,
so LA.
It's so
stop touching me.
And then he goes, so where are you ladies from? And I said, Toronto. And then he goes, why are you here? I was like, oh, we're here for like a photo shoot. We were there for like a Nick's like photo shoot. And then he's like, print work. And I was like, are you literally I was like, I could literally punch you in the face. You are so annoying. You think you are so hot. It's so LA. I'm like, you have the biggest ego ever. Yeah, like, you can't just be a normal human.
Well, at the end of the night, he goes to like hug you. He's like, it was so nice to meet you. And you like bow. You're like,
I was like, I don't need to hug you. I was like, good day, sir.
I was dying. It was like, they just, not a good energy.
Yeah.
I was just like, I kind of hate the idea that when people are like that and when they have this huge ego and they think they're like the hottest
so
shit,
you have to reciprocate
you
and give
have
it.
to give it to them. And I'm like, I don't like, especially guys. I'm like, I don't have to be your
But then it was
cheerleader and be like,
because then this guy interpreted it as, oh, this girl like is playing hard to get, like you could tell he was trying to like work harder to be like, yeah, I'm hot
Get
shit.
my attention.
And Tori's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. That was the most LA thing I've experienced in recent
That is
times.
why when I think of LA boys, I think of him and I'm like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But I also think it's part of it, like, it's really just the group that you're with or the scene that you're with at the time.
That's
like,
true.
I'm the biggest. I love going to California. I love going off and like being in Malibu, like living my, like I love it.
I think some of those skater boys down there could really be the vibe, like hiding in Venice, you know, on their skateboards.
We will do a crawl.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a specific scene, and I think that's just where all those stories come from. The rest of it, I'm very pro LA. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But it's just that where I'm
it's like you have the vlog squad running around. There's a certain level of guy.
We love the vlog squad.
Yeah, no, we love them. But I mean, it's an energy for sure. Like there's
Do you ever
just
cross
that
paths
LA
with them?
energy.
Yeah.
With the David Dobrik crew?
There's a Fanjoy party.
Oh yeah, because you guys are merch partners basically.
Yeah, and like I don't know, me and my friends, like we saw him, we said hi, and he was like, oh, I know all of you guys, and I was like, what the heck?
Aww.
I know.
David Dobrik knows.
I know, and then I think I was at like a Nelk party or something like that, and
Canadian boys.
I really brought up all my courage, and I went up to him, and I'm like, I bought my Tesla because of you, and he was like, aw, I saw you like roll up. I'm like, who's trying to show me up? And I'm like, oh my god,
that's so funny.
I thought that he was really sweet. Like
That's
we
nice.
just like talked for a couple minutes, and I was like, wow,
Super nice.
Stunning.
chill guy.
Wow, chill guy.
Who was this?
David Dobrik.
Oh.
I know, she loves David
Sorry,
Dobrik.
I missed that. No,
I
I do
actually think
enjoy
David
him.
Dobrik must have, like, I hope he has a commission link with Elon because I'm sure he has sold so many
Dude,
I know.
Teslas. Like, I want a Tesla now because of him, and I don't even
Because
care
of
about
him.
cars.
Same.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
sure he does, right?
I don't know. Does Elon give him a little? I think Elon gives some love.
Elon, give him a
He
kickback.
does give him love.
Elon gives him tons of Twitter love. Yeah, they're like a little
Twitter
crush
love.
on each other.
They just like, yeah.
Maybe one day Elon will show up and finally gift David a car, and it'll just
Oh
be
my God! Wait, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Elon must surprise.
surprises David with a new
That would be
Tesla.
so good.
The most like up-to-date modern.
Wait, that is actually a really good idea. Tweet that at him.
Yeah.
Get that going. Make Elon do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too much.
Very funny.
So the Tesla, does that one stay in LA then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
You just got a new car here. Sexy.
Wow.
Fun.
I do love cars though. Like,
Are you a car person?
I love cars. Like, I don't know. I feel like I drive so much.
Yeah.
And the car just like makes the biggest difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
I drive so much, and I love driving. I can
That
just
makes
like blast my music or blast Audible or like blast a podcast and like just really.
She's that way
live
too.
in the
You
fun.
love driving. You're a good driver too.
I love driving,
I'm a
yeah.
bad driver. I
You
never.
like it?
Well, I mean, I actually enjoy the act of driving. I just don't drive very often because I live like right downtown. I like take the subway or like walk anywhere.
Unnecessary.
And I rarely am driving long distances, so I just don't drive that often. So I like literally, because ever since I was 16, I got my first like G1. Like I moved to the city, so I grew up like out in the country where I would have needed to drive everywhere. But yeah, now I like never drive, so I'm just like I feel like kind of inexperienced. But I like it when I do it, but I just never drive. So yeah, don't ever get in a car with me. That's ridiculous. Either of them, they can drive, not me.
I guess that one of the last things before we jump into Roses and Thorns, which is how we end each episode, obviously Poddy Talk is all based around the moments we should talk ourselves, those like aha moments of, oh my God, I'm a loser, I'm an idiot, why did I do that? Or just like
Ego check.
Or just an LOL, laugh out loud moment. Do you have a moment in your career that stands out as like, oh my God, like that was just not it, or that was a huge mistake, or something maybe you wish you knew?
I had the idea last night.
Yeah?
I practiced.
Don't worry, if you don't have it on the top of your head, don't worry.
It's totally
No.
fine.
No.
Did you write notes for this? Because I will live.
Dude, I actually.
I love that.
Wait, is there anything else you want to hit on? Like,
Yeah.
if you have something
What
prepared,
else do you want to
let us
share?
know.
No. I actually have I have a list of story times that I want to tell in the future.
Oh, well, we want an exclusive, Adeline.
Yeah, please.
Give us one of these. You know what? We can always just change it up. If you don't have a low, just give us your high of recently. Like
the opposite of Poddy talk.
What's my best?
Can I give you a high?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
you got those ready.
I've never said this story before,
Okay.
and it was like this was my biggest ego like flex of the entire my entire life.
I'm ready for this.
So the first date that I went on since I ended my last relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
I was super nervous, and like it was with this guy, and he's also in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
And I just remember like we would be at dinner, and like normally.
Oh, I know this story.
Dude,
Actually, you told me this.
Did I tell you?
Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
know.
I don't know.
It's okay. This is good. This is good.
I don't know, at dinner, normally I love it when people come up to me and it's so chill, but the only time where it's a little bit rude is when it's like at dinner, like when you're sitting down and you like ask them to get up and like or sign something.
Totally.
Like, you know? But all of these like fans were like going up to him and they were like, ask him to sign something here, take a picture and like all this stuff, and then we would like go to this other place and then people wouldn't recognize him and then like the whatever, and then I was like, man, like all of these people are recognizing him. I just want one fan to recognize me. And
give me some love.
So
I need a little bit of clout.
That's all that I need. I just need one. And I was like, dude, like I'm about
You're
to
like smiling at everyone.
I know. I'm
You
like,
tweet out your location?
I'm about to stroll by Sephora real quick. Like,
Totally. Out of my scene.
No. So we were at
My
this.
demo is not here.
I know. We were at this dessert place. We were sitting down. We were like eating dessert, and I saw this like group of girls hovering around us. I'm like, oh, they like recognize him, whatever. And they go up to us and they're like, "Are you ADELAINE Morin?" And I was like, "You're like
the manifestation of words."
I'm ADELAINE Morin. And they were like, "Can we have a photo?" And I was like, "Oh hell yeah, you can!"
I'll sign everything.
I know. I'm like, do you
You're
want
like
to
ice cream for everyone.
I know. And he was like, "Do you want me to take the photo?" And I'm like, "No, they have friends to take it." And then we would like take the photo and be like,
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is a nice flex.
That's the best.
Like, yeah, babe, you take the photo. They don't want you.
Was this a first date too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
So after that,
Oh my
So
god.
that's the high.
He was like, "She's in the game now," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the game."
Totally.
So if you see ADELAINE on a first date with a new man, go interrupt her, ask for that
Go give
pic,
some
freak
love.
out.
Dude, please.
That
Dude,
is
please.
iconic.
Set the standard.
I love that for you.
I love that too. That's
well,
awesome.
like Tor said, we end every episode.
I wanted to have a low.
It's okay. You know, if things are good, things are good.
Yeah, it's true.
We're gonna force you to pick up one low though, because we do roses and thorns every day. I don't know, I might have made you play this before. So we do this literally every day in our lives, and we brought it onto the podcast. So you do kind of from the past 24 hours, one thorn, which is one negative thing. It can be trivial, it can be dumb, it can be a big thing, whatever. Then you do two roses, so two positive things, two little highlights, and then one rosebud, which is one thing you're looking forward to kind of in the short term. So we'll kick it off to kind of like lead the way and then get thinking.
Lead the way.
Do you want to start it off,
Sure.
Tor?
Yeah, okay, so the thorn of the day, I woke up and my water was turned off in my building, just with no warning. I thankfully checked my email when I woke up because it was property management basically saying don't drink the water, like something is wrong. So I was like, okay, thank God I like checked, because typically as soon as you wake up, you would just grab a glass of water, make coffee with that water, like all the things. So I was like, well, that's really great that I checked my email today. So that was a bit of a thorn, so I had to like navigate my morning without water. And then a rose, having you on the pod. Thank you so much for coming. This was so nice, and like learning about your story and like how you've gotten to where you are in your career. And I know our listeners are going to be obsessed with this episode because you gave so many great tidbits. And yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, this was fun. I like this.
So fun.
We'll catch up.
I know.
And then another rose is what day is it? Wednesday. Hump day, baby. Whatever.
Hump day.
Here we are.
We're gonna call her daddy episode.
Yeah.
Love
Totally.
that podcast.
Yeah. So midweek, feeling good. And
Rosebud.
I'm going to the Juno Awards this weekend, so I'm excited to kind of just like follow Len and Stella around because I love her and I want to find her.
obsessed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, hi, I love you. What's
I
up?
think she's genuinely maybe like a little scared at this point. I've interviewed her a few times, and every time she's in Canada, Sony Music is great.
Does she
That's her
recognize
label.
you?
Well, yes, but
Oh my God.
Sony knows I love interviewing her, and it kind of makes sense because my audience is like fans of her too. So when she was in town last, I was there again. This is like the third time now. We've like whenever she's back in Canada, I'm always the one interviewing her. So I'm like,
It's getting a little weird.
Yeah, well, yeah. They're like, here, go up to the hotel room, say hi before the event. So I go up, I'm like, girl, it's me again. She's like, what? So
She's like, how is this girl
yeah,
just
she's
getting
probably
these
like,
gigs?
I'm
Like,
just a mega fan, but I am a mega fan, so I can't say anything. I love her. So
that's hilarious.
actually, she has a new single coming out.
Woo, woo.
I'm jealous. I think it might be
Yeah.
coming out today. That's my rose.
Nice.
That'll be a fun weekend though at the Junos.
Yeah.
Okay, so thorn for me. I don't even have a thorn. I'm like in a good place.
The Bachelor
right now.
was bad last night.
Yeah, The Bachelor.
We had like a viewing party and it just.
I don't really follow along. Like I haven't been following this season, but I watched this last episode and I was just like, I'm not even invested in the season, and I'm still
I
just
saw
not
people
satisfied.
on Twitter, they were not
Unsatisfied.
happy.
Yeah.
So I say this every year, but I'm like, I need to just stop. I'm never watching it again.
Aw.
But I also like love trash TV, so I can't help it. Okay, a thorn is. There's also no repeats in this game because I was gonna say you will be on the podcast with Rose.
Oh my God.
But,
You can't repeat.
my new rose will be. Oh gosh, I'm like kind of like at a.
You just said her single. That's already.
Well,
one.
yes, Lennon is one. Her new song because I love her music. Another rose is this weather. It's been like springtime, and I'm so
been
weather
really good.
affected, and it's been so nice. I think we're done with winter, which is kind of shocking.
Fingers crossed.
On the contrary, though, my rosebud, I think I'm going to be going snowboarding next week if Blue Mountain doesn't
Dude,
completely
what?
melt.
I feel
Really?
like no.
They still have fake snow there, but like snowboarding and fake snow was like not the move.
We didn't
worst.
once. We said all
I know.
season we would
But there-
go.
we
There
were
was
never
no,
here. We were
no,
never
but then
here.
there was also no
know.
season.
The
I
only
feel
Yeah,
like.
I
time
feel
that-
like there was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's when we were gone. We were
Like
in
2
literally LA
weeks.
during the
so
nice week.
annoying.
Yeah.
So like maybe Rosebud is going snowboarding, but
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, take it away, Thorn.
Thorn is I got pulled over.
Oh,
today.
yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. Tell them what happened.
Yeah.
I try to not let that negative energy
Affect
We're
the
not
morning.
manifesting that.
On the way here, I was driving. I hear
Yeah.
wee wee, and I see the police car.
You never
behind
think it's gonna
me.
be you.
Wee wee. So I pulled over to the side and I got a ticket. It's really
love that.
expensive, but it's okay. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jeez.
Mega Thorn.
Yeah, that's a huge thorn.
But it's okay.
Moving on, roses.
Roses is I am in Toronto with my friends.
Oh my God,
No.
yes.
Exciting.
Yes, you're on the pod.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not at home and I'm not bored.
Yeah.
And another
You're welcome
rose-
back anytime.
Yeah, you're always welcome. If
Yeah.
Wednesday mornings, just fly
You
on
feel
in.
like shit talking, just roll up.
Yeah.
Another rose is I got my coffee.
Yeah.
Timmy's
Also,
Canadian
the
queen.
Canadian Tim
Yeah.
Hortons. Love it. So good.
Is there any Tim Hortons in LA?
What's your
or is it-
coffee order? I feel like people always like
I
that's
wish.
a good little secret.
Iced
What do you get at
vanilla
Tim
latte
Hortons?
with soy milk
Ooh.
at Tim Hortons. I wish that they had oat milk.
I didn't know they had. I love oat
Wait, they
milk.
have
I didn't
soy
even know
milk
they
at
had
Tim
soy
Hortons?
now.
Oh my God, vegan queen.
And it's free.
Wait,
It's
really?
free,
Don't
you don't
pay
need to
more?
pay.
What? Iced vanilla latte with
This
soy
is
milk?
shocking.
You're gonna get that now.
I'm gonna literally walk
You
home and go buy
you get
Tim's.
nice cap with soy milk.
What? Oh,
Oh, the game has changed.
that's your rose.
I know.
This is my new rose.
But I think my rosebud is I'm moving in LA and I'm really excited about
Yeah.
that.
Get to the beach, baby.
Aw, that's
We'll
so
have to come
nice.
visit
When do you
you
go back to
sometime.
LA?
On the tomorrow.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
what?
Oh, we caught you in the nick of
I know.
time.
yeah.
I know,
thanks
that's
for
why you
fitting-
gave me the date and I was like, perfect.
You're like,
Oh
I'm
my
here.
God. Well, the funniest thing is, so the people that help us run the studio, like, well, we don't run the studio, book the studio. We run the studio.
Hello.
We're on this town.
They were like, hey, like another production's coming in, we might have to adjust the timing. So this was the
shit.
first week that we might have not had a Wednesday. So you're like, yeah, I can do Wednesday, no problem. I'm
We
like,
were like,
I
oh.
was like,
Oh,
edit undo. I don't think we could do the Wednesday,
No,
but then
it
luckily
worked.
it worked
It totally
out.
worked,
But
yeah.
you're like probably the last hump day recording we ever have. So
Aw.
thank you for
Special,
coming. Sorry, I
special
distracted
moments.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Anyways, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with
Yeah.
Adeline. We'll leave all of her links, her YouTube. If you don't already follow her, I don't know where
Which
you've
I'm
been.
sure you do. Yeah.
You better be listening to this while wearing your Girls Supporting Girls hoodie right
Wait,
now.
can I give you
Wait.
guys something?
What?
I brought these for you.
Adeline?
Oh my God.
She's supporting girls live on the podcast.
Wait, that's so cute.
Wait, these are. That
is
even
so-
has your
Did
symbol
I give
on.
it to you already?
No, I don't.
What? How do you get it like this? This is amazing.
She said
oh
fanjoy.
my God, we're wearing this next
This
week on
bag
the
is
pod.
not a toy. This is literally
Stop.
it. We should have worn this entire episode.
We should have worn this the whole episode.
This will be next week's outfit. Adeline,
This is so nice. Thank you so much.
Guys, we will leave the link to where to buy this merch. Look at how gorgeous it is.
yeah.
Oh, and a nice oversized hoodie. I love
I
it.
know.
Thanks, girl.
Wow.
Like,
Thank
I
you
thought the
so
extra large would be good
much.
because you could like wear it as a dress.
Oh, I
Thank
live in
you.
oversized hoodies. This is amazing.
That's so nice of you. Oh my gosh.
Okay, new Rose. I have Adeline merch.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was the pod,
I'm
guys.
flustered. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll leave everything down below. Buy all the things. Follow her, and we'll see you guys very
See you
soon.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.